G'day, welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We're all about inspiration here on this show, and I thought I'd show you this little garden. If you've got a big shady tree and you're not sure what to plant underneath, here's a good example of what you can achieve. This is a combination planting of bromeliads, there's some philodendrons, some ferns, you've got the iridescent pinks, the irisine, and even some native orchids. It really is a stunning bit of gardening, something that you could achieve at home too. Now, this program is all about sharing great ideas. Here's what's coming up on today's show. This week on the Garden Gurus, Melissa looks at soil care for potted azaleas and camellias.
Now, I've just chosen a selection of plants here that are a little bit more compact in form and some upright growing varieties that will do really well in pots.
Bonnie creates an easy DIY planter box using decorative rocks.
The wonderful thing about these boxes is that they can be used for multiple different purposes. And a favourite for me is to use them as a planter pot.
And Steve shows us how involving your kids in the garden is a great way to connect them with the food they eat.
Of course, having fun in the garden isn't just about edibles. Growing flowers are an absolute joy, and spring is the perfect time to be planting giant sunflower seeds.
Dig, 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 dig in the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
Growing herbs and vegetables is actually my idea of having fun. I get a great deal of satisfaction out of growing something with no chemicals involved, then picking it and taking it into the kitchen and preparing a meal. What makes growing food interesting for me is always having a go at growing something a little different, something unusual. Lately, I've been growing more of the Asian greens, and I've got to tell you, they're a lot of fun. Many of them grow so quick and easily, and the flavours are so special. One of the most rewarding Asian vegetables to grow is the Chinese cabbage. This is a Pekinensis variety which has been in cultivation since the early 1400s. It's so easy to grow and such a healthy option that it was cultivated on the International Space Station in special growing chambers. It also makes an awesome kimchi, a lovely spicy fermented product that boosts the gut biome. Oriental spinach also has a long history dating back to the 7th century, where it was presented as a gift to the Chinese Tang Emperor from the Kingdom of Nepal. It's a delicious tasting spinach that's eaten stem and all, but it's only prepared for seconds, so added to a stir fry at the last moment or served just lightly blanched. Vietnamese mint can be grown in a semi-shaded section of the garden or in a pond as a water plant. It adds a wonderful peppery and spicy flavour to salads and is delicious in soups and fish dishes. If you know someone with a plant, ask them for a cutting. It's dead easy to grow. Simply break off a piece, strip off the bottom leaves, plant it into the soil in a cool, shady position. It'll have roots on within 7 days, and in 5 to 6 weeks, it'll be ready to start harvesting. There's an excellent range of Asian herbs and vegetables out there, and our friends at Swan Valley Nursery do a wonderful job of making them available. So next time you're at your local garden centre, check out the Taste of Asia range.
Whether it's for drainage, irrigation, plumbing or other services, a good trench is the key. And there's no finer sight than a perfectly straight, well dug out, clean trench at the right depth and consistency. It's a dream come true.
All of this is achievable with a string line, a tape, a shovel, a mattock, maybe a bar, and plenty of digging. So if you can get your hands on a trenching machine, you'd be mad not to. It's a lot quicker, a lot easier, and it's a lot more fun. Just have a look at this in action.
The trencher attachments are available in 150 and 200 mil wide and are built for the toughest conditions with tungsten teeth, high torque, single direction spill for easier cleanup and quicker backfill, crummer bar for a clean trench bottom and no handwork, and all the settings for an almost set and forget quick and easy, safe trenching experience that'll put a smile on your face every time. You can set the hydraulic flow here for maximum fuel efficiency of the loader and optimum performance. And being up high gives you excellent visibility. I mean, just have a look at that trench. It's sensational.
If you've got a bit of room in your yard, avocados make a fantastic fruit tree and can be grown in a wide range of locations. Remember, you need an A and a B. On the A varieties, the flower opens female in the morning and turns to male in the afternoon. On the B varieties, the opposite happens, making them the perfect partners for pollination. Stay tuned for more great gardening tips.
I have travelled to sunny Perth, and you might recognise this garden that I'm in. I'm at Trevor's place to show you the creation of these funky Gabion rock boxes. They can be used as retaining walls, planter pots, or as a division feature in the garden. They are extremely practical and durable as they are made from a galvanised wire which is fully welded, so it is made to last a long time outside in the elements. The boxes require no assembly, so it's easy for anyone to make a stunning feature. A handy tip to keep in mind before filling the Gabions with the rocks is to make sure that you're happy with the position of them in the garden, because as you can imagine, they're going to be pretty heavy to move once they're filled. And if you're creating a retaining wall, make sure the ground is nice and level beforehand. All you need to do is simply add rocks or pebbles of your preference. At the top of the Gabion box, you'll see there is this reasonable gap. This is where you'll pour your rocks until it's filled to the brim like this one. With a lot of different sized stones to choose from, try selecting some similar to these ones. This is a 35mm stone, which is an ideal size if you're looking to recreate this in your own garden. But you can use any stone that ranges between 35 to 50mm, which will suit really nicely. The wonderful thing about these boxes is that they can be used for multiple different purposes, and a favourite for me is to use them as a planter pot. Simply line the inside of the centre cavity with weed mat or a breathable fabric and fill directly with potting mix. Add a plant and you have a modern spin on a traditional planter pot. Another option is to use these Gabion cubes. Fill them up, place a wooden block on top, and you've got yourself a bench seat. So if you're looking for a garden DIY project to get a little bit creative with, why not try installing one of these modern, fun, decorative landscape features for your garden?
How magnificent is this shrub? This is an old-fashioned plant called Rondellecia. And these beautiful pink flowers, and there's millions of them, attract bees by the millions, but provide this incredible fragrance. It's a full sun, large shrub, gets to around about 4 to 5 metres at least in height, and a similar sort of width. And when it's in flower in the spring, it is just a knockout. You can get it in garden centres. Now it's time to get your hands on it. Check it out, Rondellecia.
With the global concern for the population of the humble honeybee, it is a constant reminder of how important it is to have a garden full of plants, which will attract our friendly pollinators. There is a lack of flowers in a lot of gardens, and the use of nerve-killing pesticides and memory-damaging insecticides are causing bees to forget where their hive is and results in them dying. Without bees, there is no pollination in our garden, but by planting a pollinator-friendly habitat is one of the first steps we can take to make a change. One of the best ways to create a pollinator-friendly garden is with flowers, and lots of them too. Spring is one of the most important seasons where we need the presence of bees in the garden. By adding lots of flowers to the garden, not only will it help them, it will help encourage the pollination of our fruit trees and vegetables. I want to introduce you to this plant here. Now, this plant is called borage, and it produces the most stunning blue flowers, and it's really great to have planted next to fruit trees or other vegetables, as it's a great indicator as to when the pollinators are active in your garden. A classic but a goodie is the lavender flower. Bees just love this plant. How many times have you been in a garden and noticed a bunch of bees buzzing around one of these? Buddleias and salvias are another favourite for bees. They just love the flowers on these plants. Let us not forget about our native pollinators. By planting banksias, grevilleas, even native grasses is a way that we can create a little safe habitat for the bees and bring native wildlife to our back door.
This is a fantastic time of the year to get out into the bush and check out our amazing Australian wildflowers. This is one that you'll find on the east coast and also the west coast, different species, commonly known as the native wisteria, but the flowers are just stunning. They're little tiny pea flowers in beautiful mauves and iridescent blues, and now's the time to be getting out to admire them. After the break, we've got more great gardening right here with the Garden Gurus.
Being smart with the way we water our gardens has never been more important. With many parts of the country experiencing shocking drought conditions, conserving our most precious resource is critical. Some good water-wise gardening tips include choosing the right plants for your soil type and environment, soil improvement works to create a better soil, mulching, and using wetting agents. Then, of course, efficient watering practices. Don't waste it. During the warmer months, to avoid water loss through evaporation, early morning and evening are the best times to water. For tougher, more drought-tolerant plants and lawns, once your garden is established, aim for less frequent, deep watering. This will encourage deeper, stronger roots. Hand watering with the hose can be therapeutic, but a lot of us just don't have the time, so the watering either gets rushed or missed. And this is where an automatic tap timer is so good. Plus, if you go away for a few days or even a few weeks, the garden still gets watered. It's like magic. The Holman BTX is simple to set up and use and connects to the iGardener app for scheduling and complete flexibility with when, where and how you water. You can switch back to manual watering from your phone at any time. Handy for when you want to wash the car, clean the windows or do other hosing jobs. There are also multi-zone controllers that are perfect for different garden areas with different watering requirements and, of course, lawns. You can see the full range of BTX and WaterWiz controllers on the Holman website or in Bunnings stores.
If you see a big bold splash of colour in a garden, there's a good chance that it's a camellia or azalea saying, "Look at me." We often bundle camellias and azaleas together in the same sentence because they enjoy similar growing conditions and they're ideal companions in the garden. And if you're short on space, they're also perfect partners in a potted display. Now, I've just chosen a selection of plants here that are a little bit more compact in form and some upright growing varieties that will do really well in pots. Now, camellias and azaleas are acid-loving plants, and so it's a really good idea to use a specialist azalea and camellia potting mix. It's designed to give these plants the perfect foundation to grow and thrive in. I also like to use a plant food that's designed to get the best out of these blooming beauties. Triforte M for roses, azaleas and camellias takes care of these flowering stunners from top to bottom. It contains millions of beneficial microbes to invigorate your soils. So it doesn't just feed the plants, it takes care of the soil environment too. I'm mixing some through the potting mix before planting, but you can also sprinkle it onto the surface and just mix it through the topsoil. Not only does it promote better flowers and better colour in your blooms, but it also increases plant resistance to disease and dry conditions because it's enriching the soil's microbial activity, even in pots. I'm using a family of pots to create a pretty potted picture. So I'm going to plant a gorgeous camellia called Avalanche in the biggest pot for a bit of height. It displays beautiful double white flowers in the autumn and has a lovely slender upright habit. In the middle pot, let's make a feature of Camellia Pretty in Pink. It can eventually reach heights of 2 to 3 metres, but it's slow growing, so it's perfect for pots. And finally, in the smallest pot, one of the stunning Caroom azaleas called Christmas Cheer, with smaller leaves and masses of flowers. And if you want to take your potted garden to a whole new level, then make sure you also give these plants a good dose of the Nutriforte liquid plant food every 3 months. Now, it's designed to work in conjunction with the granular food and pumps lots of organic nutrients to the roots, feeding not just the plants, but also the beneficial microbes. If you're grouping plants together like this, make sure you choose plants that enjoy similar growing conditions. This potted display is perfect for bringing a cheery splash of colour to a sunny or partly shaded spot.
It's amazing how easy it is to propagate some plants. Succulents, for example. Let's have a look at these Aeonium Schwarzkopf. All you got to do is just cut off one of the stems, maybe peel off some of the lower leaves and stick it straight into a free-draining mix and you're away. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate that because I'm at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney and they don't like that kind of caper here. More tips after the break. Sometimes when I'm in the garden, I get a bit caught up in it all, even a bit lost and muddled. And that's when I just take a few deep breaths and focus my mind on the ocean. Such natural beauty and power, and timeless in its existence. Many great organisms live in the seas and oceans, including some of nature's wonderful marine superfoods, seaweed and kelp, which have been used for centuries on crops and gardens for their beneficial effect on plant growth. Getting the seaweed and kelp onto your garden couldn't be easier these days. It's in all the sea salt products and in the Power Feed Pro. New on the scene with a cleverly put together premium formula for premium gardeners such as ourselves who want to get the best out of their plants. As well as the seaweed, which stimulates the root system and helps with all-round plant health, protecting your plants against stress from heat, drought, frost, pests and diseases, you've got liquid compost that conditions the soil by helping to improve soil health, increasing microbial activity and maximising nutrient uptake by plants. Plus, there's the fish emulsion, full of amino acids to boost plant growth. And don't be surprised if your swimming improves too. A common problem with soils, especially sandy soils and those left to dry for a while, is they become hydrophobic. The water just beads on the surface and runs off. The added wetting agent in the Pro Series is a stroke of genius, increasing the wettability of hydrophobic and hard-to-wet soils, like under the eaves here against the house, where it gets quite hot, but it's protected from natural rain. The agent gets the water and nutrients down to the root zone where they're needed. Now, the balanced blend of nutrients and trace elements can be used on all the garden, including your natives, your herbs, your veggies, and your fruits.
A wonderful way to encourage kids to get out into the garden is to share with them the incredible joy of growing plants from seed. Vegetables, herbs, flowers, they're all great fun to grow, and it makes a nice change from them being inside playing on devices. Mr. Fothergill's little gardener kits have been designed to not only make getting out into the garden fun, but are carefully put together to ensure success for even our first-time gardeners. They include pots, growing medium, easy-to-sprout seed varieties, and even a mini greenhouse. Rainbow vegetables, mini tomatoes, giant pumpkins, snow pea teepees, purple bean teepees, pizza gardens. The little gardener's vegetable and herb range is huge, and with studies showing that children are 5 times more likely to eat food they have grown themselves, it makes a lot of sense to start healthy eating habits as early as possible. Of course, having fun in the garden isn't just about edibles. Growing flowers are an absolute joy, and spring is the perfect time to be planting giant sunflower seeds. These seeds will be up within a week or so and well on their way to creating a cheerful splash of summer colour that'll put a smile on your face no matter what your age.
Well, that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, we are back next week with another fantastic episode of The Garden Gurus. If there's anything from today's show, though, that you'd like to know more about, maybe get a fact sheet, watch a video, or possibly even read an article from our online magazine collection, all you have to do is simply visit our website. If you've got a very specific question you'd like to ask, all you have to do, of course, is become a friend on Facebook. We do answer your questions, and so do some of our friends. And if you'd like to brag, maybe post a photo or two as well. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for The Garden Gurus. G'day and welcome to the Garden Gurus. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We've got another brilliant program for you, packed full of down-to-earth, locally filmed garden advice right across Australia. Here's what's coming up on today's show. This week on the Garden Gurus, Nigel shares some tips on eliminating weeds in your garden.
Now remember, no mowing for 7 days before or after application.
Melissa shows us her top picks for indestructible indoor plants.
Most of us kill our indoor plants with love, and there is a surprising number of houseplants that thrive on neglect.
And I look at a new crepe myrtle with dark foliage that can create drama and contrast in the garden. Diamonds in the dark are completely unique. There's nothing quite like them that I've ever seen available.
Dig, 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 dig in the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
Most of us kill our indoor plants with love, and there is a surprising number of houseplants that thrive on neglect. So here's my list of indestructible indoor plants, starting with this beauty right here, which has the rather cheeky name, Mother-in-Law's Tongue. So called because of its sharp tongue-like leaves, plus it's tough as old boots. It copes with low levels of light, so it makes a great indoor plant. And honestly, I barely ever water mine. They're that tough. It's also got a striking upright form, which makes a real statement in a room. Zanzibar Gem always makes the list of most indestructible. You can grow it outdoors too, but it's earned a reputation as one tough houseplant because it deals with low light and low water. The common name of this plant really gives away just how tough it is. So I'd like you to meet the cast iron plant. Now, it got the name because of its ability to survive in areas where many other plants won't, and to thrive in areas with both low light and low water. Now, this is a lovely variegated form, but really, if you're after a plant that's easy to look after and it has lush, healthy, evergreen foliage throughout the year, then this is it. If you're looking for a tough trailing plant, you can't go past devil's ivy. It will grow virtually anywhere, even in a poorly lit room. And the cascading foliage brings a lush jungle-like feel to your home. It won't even care too much if you forget to water it, and it looks just gorgeous growing in indoor hanging baskets. So if you're a newbie gardener, you don't think you've got a green thumb, or you simply don't have time for plant care, then put one of these little beauties on your shopping list and fill your house with easy care greenery.
Hand watering can play a vital role in helping establish a new garden and in keeping our container plants looking lush and healthy during those hot summer months. And when it comes to hose storage, well, I reckon I've found the perfect solution. Holman retractable hose reels are a practical and stylish option to removing untidy hose clutter from your outdoor living space. Available in 10, 20 and 30 metre units, they're ideal for backyards, courtyards and patios of all sizes. The retractable case protects your hose from the harsh Australian sun, helping prolong its life by stopping it from splitting and cracking. The locking mechanism allows you to stop the hose at the exact length you need and simply rewinds when you're finished. I've chosen to go with the 20 metre model, which is ideal for the average yard. And each Holman hose has a high kink resistance to save those frustrating moments. They also come with a 7-function gun. Centre, flat, jet. There's a whole range of options. And if you're looking to water a larger garden area, or maybe an area of turf or lawn, simply disconnect the handgun and connect a Holman hose end sprinkler. The 180-degree wall mount positions the unit up off the ground, making it ideal for small courtyards or balconies. If you're renting or prefer not to drill holes, the portable handcart is a great go-anywhere option. A bit of hand watering at the end of the day, it's an ideal way to connect with your garden. And with a retractable hose, it makes it all the more relaxing.
This plant here is called Leucadendron Purple Haze, and it's both frost and drought tolerant, and its cuttings make for beautiful floral displays in a vase. For more gardening tips and advice, stay tuned after the break.
When you're landscaping, building and gardening, you're going to need to dig some holes at some point, and it's often a lot of holes and they're pretty deep. Holes for fencing and retaining wall posts, footings and large trees. I mean, you can dig a hole for virtually anything these days. The idea of digging a hole scares some people, but with the auger attachment, it's dead easy. Just let the machine do the work for you. You can get different sized auger bits from 100mm right up to 750. Now these attach onto the power head here, which has a square drive shaft. That means you get more direct power to the auger bit than you would do with a round shaft. And you can also get extension shafts for the auger, so you can drill as deep as you like. Really good for things like shade sail posts, or if you just feel like doing some deep drilling. Also, the auger bits being a little bit lighter, put less wear and tear on the power head, which means you've got less maintenance, you've got less cost, and everything's just better. The planetary gearbox means more torque for the toughest conditions. And there is also a built-in safety cut-off feature. You can hire the Kanga loader with the power head and the augers, along with a whole range of other impressive attachments. Always check for services before doing any digging and earthworks. Check, dial before you dig.
The great news is if you pop into your local hardware store these days, you're going to find these fantastic flat packs. These are Gabions created by Whites. It's a terrific innovation. It means you can buy them in a flat pack form like this, grab yourself some landscape stones, take them home and create your own Gabion walls. And it's really easy to do. Now, the reason I'm doing it, well, I've got this sloping area going down here. I've got erosion with soil running off down the side of my block. By creating some tiers using the Gabion walls, I'm going to reduce that erosion, improve the environment, and to be quite honest, they just look fantastic. The design is simple and anyone could pick these up and put them together, thanks to a couple of simple but highly effective design attributes that have been added here. And the most important one being the simple ability to screw tie the sides of the box for the stones in before filling it with rocks. Now, one handy tip is, regardless of what situation you're using the Gabion boxes for, make sure the ground they sit on is level. Now, if that's right and you've put your frames together, then it's just simply a case of filling the frames with stones. This is where Whites really come in handy. See, they've got the Gabion walls, but they've also got an extensive range of rocks, all different sizes and shapes. And I've chosen these ones here. These are moon rocks. You can see beautiful, quite an ochre kind of finish, really, which ties in really well with the laterite gravel soils I've got around here. And the whole idea is you place them within the cages, within the frames, and fill them up. And this is going to give it that very special effect. It's a one-stop shop. This means that you can get everything you need for the project and do it all in one day. One little tip is to fill the frame slowly, and if you want to save some money, you can use larger fill stones or even bricks in the middle or at the back of the frame, and then the smaller, more decorative stone types around the outside. It just means that you'll have a need for less of those decorative stones, and you'll need those fill stones anyway. Now, this is just one block, one little section of my garden, but I'm going to do these little retainers all the way through. And the terrific thing about this kit system is you can do it as you have time and as it suits your budget. So over the next couple of years, I'll progressively add some levels through and just keep adding to it, getting those different tiers and layers. And those textures make a world of difference to the effect your garden has. Gabion walls look great, but they also play an important ecological role for the insects and small reptiles like skinks and lizards in your garden, which make these their home. Protected from predators, warmed by the rocks, and safe in an interesting environment to live in. Now, if you've got a retaining project to do this weekend, these really are a fabulous way to get the levels right in your garden. And it's such a simple project to put the Gabion walls together and fill them with the stone that's available from the same retailer. If you want any more information on this terrific product from Whites, just check out our website.
Even on a rainy day, a greenhouse can provide us with the right climate to grow some tropical beauties, and this one here is a banana. But you can even grow your vegetable greens all year round. For more gardening tips, stay tuned after the break.
Growing your own fresh fruit and vegetables at home is so rewarding and incredibly delicious. But let's be honest, when it comes to insects and bugs, it can be a little challenging. Rich Grow Beetle Bug is a natural-based insecticide made from ingredients including pyrethrum, garlic, chili and fish oil. The range of pests killed and repelled include ants, aphids, caterpillars, cockroaches, earwigs, leafhoppers, whitefly and thrip. Not only is it an effective bug spray, but it also provides your plants with a boost of natural nutrients at the site of the insect attack, helping improve the plant's resistance. When using a natural-based insecticide that contains pyrethrum, it's best to spray late afternoon or early evening. This assists in avoiding harming beneficial insects that tend to be more active during the warmer parts of the day. The fast-acting pyrethrum denatures after a period of time, usually around 5 hours, while the chili and garlic remains, acting as a repellent without harming the beneficials. It's also for this reason that we avoid spraying open flowers. Over the years, we've seen many chemicals come and go. We're told that they're no longer safe to use, when in fact they never were. Having access to a naturally based insecticide like Beetle Bug is a real asset to the home gardener, and food crops are safe to eat within 24 hours of use. Of course, this spray can also be safely used on all your general garden plants as well. And it's nice to know you're using a product that, when used as directed, won't harm children or pets. Beetle Bug comes in a handy 1 litre ready-to-use bottle, but for bigger gardens, you might like to try the 3 litre value pack.
A lot of gardening problems stem from the soil. In most gardens, you'll find areas that aren't at their best, and this usually results in plants suffering or even dying. Even though we're getting a few coastal showers this morning, many parts of the country are experiencing shocking drought conditions, and this can cause hydrophobic soils that repel water, and a lot of these soils just become dead. And then, of course, your plants really suffer. As well as using wetting agents, compost and organic matter, I'm onto this rejuvenator gear from Trevor Cochrane that has been specially formulated to help repair struggling areas in the garden like this. Rejuvenator has a very fine prill size that spreads evenly and gets into the soil more easily. It is also faster releasing, 3 to 4 months, as opposed to 5 to 6 months for other Trevor Cochrane varieties. There are up to 24 strains of carefully selected beneficial soil microbes and up to 60 minerals to provide hardier plants and nutrient-packed fruits and veggies. As with most fertilizers, water in well after application. This activates the microscopic microbes and gets them working their magic in the soil, breaking down nutrients and making them more readily available for your plants. You can also add the Trevor Cochrane liquid plant food that's a new formula that complements the granular plant food and feeds both the plants and the microbes.
If you're looking for a hanging basket option and you've got a shaded area in your garden, I've got 2 options for you. You've got this one here, which is Dichondra Silver Falls, and the one behind me is Lismachia Goldilocks. Both of them will grow to about 1 metre in length, and you can cut them to whatever height you would like. So for more gardening tips and advice, stay tuned after the break.
This may well be the most important part of my garden. This beehive is basically guaranteeing the pollination of all of the fruit trees and having it positioned right next to the vegetable garden. Most of the vegetables that, well, they're really fruit, of course, things like tomatoes and so on, the crops are so much better as a result of these guys. And of course, every 6 to 8 weeks, we get around 20 to 30 litres of honey come from these 2 boxes as well, which is quite remarkable. If you have a slightly larger garden, adding bees to your garden is a great idea, because we are in one of the places in the world where they're free of diseases. So if you want to know any more information, all you have to do is simply check out our website.
I've popped over to my mate Gary's place to have a look at his lawn. He rings me all the time for lawn care advice. I said, mate, don't panic. I'll come and have a look. And I'll bring the crew with me too. Spring is a massive time for lawns. They're coming out of winter dormancy and are about to explode with growth. The cooler winter months suit many weeds which can easily outgrow your dormant warm season lawns like cooch, kikuyu and buffalo. Always keep your lawn longer in winter for better photosynthesis and reducing weed seed germination. The longer grass creates more shade underneath. Hand weeding is also good too. Remember, 1 year's seed is 7 years weed. Some of your classic weeds include clover, bindi, chickweed, cudweed, capeweed, creeping oxalis, dandelion, dock, fleabane, lamb's tongue and wireweed. And looking around, I think Gaz has got them all. Out the back here's a bit of a carsy, but Gary's a busy man and he just doesn't get the time. The first thing to do is get rid of these. Labrador. Be careful when using any lawn treatments to ensure they are suitable for your lawn variety. Many are not suited to buffalo. The Weed and Feed has 2 versions, including a buffalo formula. Lawn Builder Weed, Feed and Green Up contains the selective herbicides bromoxynil and MCPA, so it can be safely used on all lawn types, including buffalo. The unique sources of nitrogen and iron are highly soluble and quickly absorbed to provide a rapid greening response. It goes to work immediately and is effective whether absorbed through leaves or roots. Now remember, no mowing for 7 days before or after application. And don't use it if rain's forecast within the next 24 hours because it'll just wash it all off and it'll be a waste. Now, where's Gary? Gary!
You'd reckon after 30 years of visiting garden centres and nurseries all over Australia that it would take a lot for me to get excited about a new plant release. But I've got to tell you, with this one, I'm really excited. Now, we all know crepe myrtles. They're drought tolerant, cold tolerant, and they have the most beautiful summer flowers. But I've never seen crepe myrtles quite as beautiful as these. Over the years, we've often featured the crepe myrtle on the show, so named for its colourful crepe-like flowers, stunning mottled trunk and bronze autumn foliage. It doesn't seem to matter where you live in Australia as well. They will very likely grow pretty much anywhere. So it's already well recognised as a brilliant garden plant. How on earth could you improve on it? Check this black foliage out. It is absolutely sensational, and worldwide, black foliage is the #1 trend when it comes to garden designers and landscape architects selecting plants. There's a very good reason for it. Against the contrast of other foliage colours, it really lifts them. But more importantly, look at the colours that are set atop it. It makes them absolutely pop. They stand out, they make a fantastic feature. Diamonds in the Dark were originally released with 5 colours. Red Hot, a bright red flower. Blush, which is a soft pink. Crimson Red, which looks more and more amazing as the clusters of flowers get bigger as the plant matures. And Pure White, which is the most amazing standout as far as colour contrast goes. Black and white is a brilliant contrast that attracts your eye immediately. This year, a new collection of flower colour arrives and they are set to dazzle. Purely Purple is unique and very beautiful. If you love pinks, then Shell Pink will be a brilliant addition to your garden, as will the subtle lavender of the appropriately named Lavender Lace. And for something that jumps out and hits you in the face, Mystic Magenta is a vibrant hue that'll lift the garden highlights to a whole new level. If you're wondering about height, here's the great thing about this collection. They can be grown as small trees or large shrubs. It's completely up to you. They reach a height of 3 metres with a spread of around 2.5. During the peak of summer, they are smothered in flowers which sit atop that beautiful dark foliage. Diamonds in the dark are completely unique. There's nothing quite like them that I've ever seen available. The colours they bring add terrific drama to the garden. And of course, when you look at this black foliage, it is purely spectacular stuff. Now, if you want to get your hands on them, they're going to be available in garden centres as of December. My advice is I would get into my local garden centre now and order the ones that you want for your backyard, because they will not last. They will sell out for sure. And here's the thing, if you want more information, all you have to do is check out this website. That's it for this week's episode of The Garden Gurus. I hope you enjoyed it. We're back next week with another brilliant episode packed full of down-to-earth local gardening advice. If you want any information from today's show, fact sheets, videos, maybe check out some articles, just head off to our website. If you want to ask any gardening questions, become a friend on Facebook. We do answer your questions. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for The Garden Gurus.